Who the hell cares?
That's a liberal.
It's like saying, would you rather have wine or water?
Wine, a half inch means a lot sometimes.
Nobody likes to eat crow. Right.
Now I'm starving.
How much is the economy today? It's that much.
This pumpkin latte sucks, and I want to speak to your manager.
Objection, hearsay. Objection, leading. Objection, hearsay.
Where is that woman when Biden speaks? Get out of here. His name is pronounced Joni. And that's the end of it.
Benjamin Buttons of success we are.
Well, we were never successful, so.
Oh my. Well, it's only getting worse. What's going on tonight that nobody would want to join us?
Probably everyone's sick.
That could be. That could be.
Or we've just
Well, I have more deflating news for you. First of all, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, I seem to be fantastic compared to everyone in the family. I mean, everybody is just, well, I don't know,
Sick.
Not doing well. So how do you feel? What's the matter, little girl? Tell me.
Josie got me sick. She came to the work with the flu
That's no
and
fun.
coughed all over me.
That's no fun.
No.
Well, it looks like Grandma Joe is here
Hi,
and
Grandma.
Francine is here.
Oh, good. It's 4 of us.
4 of us. And Birnat had to go to the doctors. And I got to tell you, I busted my ass getting, making sure that we had traction on YouTube. I just give up. Here's everybody. Okay, Colleen Mahoney is here. Kevin, here she is. Let me put him up. And Kevin Young is here. Hello, Kevin Young. And Mick 40 is here. There you go. And Angela Ricca is here. Okay, so the crew is loading in. But here's the deal. Facebook does not allow commenting from personal pages anymore. So your page, my page, got. Okay, so we're not playing on those anymore. And also it's not allowing commenting on X.
Well, how are they commenting now? They're all on Facebook.
They're on my Facebook page. The pages you can comment, the profiles you cannot.
It's retarded.
So unless you can figure out how to get your other page up and running, we're
It is
only
up
going to
and
be on
running.
my Facebook page. From now on, my Facebook page, which is Leticia Romero, it is the one that has no BS behind it, me standing like this with no BS. And it's going to be on Rumble and YouTube. And that's it. No more X and no more of the other pages. Because why the heck are we putting it on the other pages if people can't comment? That just stinks.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well, that's enough. Oh, I'm glad you made it back, Beer Nut. You got to bring your friends along because this is like the worst ever. The worst ever. Yes, we are on Rumble today, and we will be on going forward. But if you watch us on my personal Facebook page, the one with the Donald Trump penny, I'm getting rid of that. And if you watch on Jennifer's Facebook profile, the one with her and her significant other, that's leaving. So it'll only be on the No BS, Leticia Romero No BS page, and Facebook and and YouTube and Rumble. So that's what we're going to try, and that's what we're going to do. And I don't know what else to say. All right. So what'd you do this week, Jennifer?
I saw you, me and Jimmy.
Yeah, that was fun. We had fun.
Very nice.
It was a beautiful wedding.
Well, yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Let's see. Hold on. Wait. I'm watching on the profile with the penny and commenting. What? It's telling me they're not allowing comments. Oh, I can't even. Thank you, Lucille.
We need something
so
different.
it clearly states that I am not allowed. We're not seeing comments from there. So maybe something changed. I don't know. What is Jen's social media links? Funny chick, right?
No, Jen Romero.
Oh, in Facebook,
Yeah.
in Facebook it's Jen Romero, but on Instagram it's Funny Chick, and on Twitter or X it's Funny.
I don't
Chick.
have them on there though.
No, you don't. You know. Thank you very much. This was the hat I wore to the wedding. I kind of like it, and it's hiding all the grays. I decided not to color my hair anymore, not forever, just for a little while, because my hair was starting to fall out. So I decided that it would be better to go gray. So I wear the hat a lot. So
Show's falling apart. You're falling apart. Good.
I'm not falling apart.
Your hair.
My hair's falling out, but that's because I color it too much. Hello, Professor. Good to see you. Who got married? My niece and nephew. Actually, my nephew, and now his wife is my niece, and it's Jennifer's first cousin. So it's Bobby's brother's son, Big Mike. You met him, Colleen. Hello, Andrew Dorman. How are you? Okay, so while everybody in the country is sick, there's one man who is not giving in to the flu or a cold or hay fever or lethargy or anything. As a matter of fact, he is on overdrive, and he is our president, Donald Trump. That man has done a lot in 30 days. Is it even 30 days? I don't even remember.
No, not yet. No.
Yeah, I can't remember. The 20th. So, right. It's not. So the 20th that's 11 days. It's 29 days he's been in office. 29 days. And look at what he's done. All right. Well, before we get into what he's done, the one thing he did that I want to show everybody, because I think it's really important. He did this. Illegal border crossings hit record low after Trump's swift crackdown and could be on track for levels not seen in 60 years. 93%. It's down 93% border crossings.
Why not 100?
Well, because you can't be everywhere. So
how do they, if you can't be everywhere, how do they know they got in?
Well, that's a good question. It's a good question. You know what? I'm not that smart. I'm not smart enough to answer that question. Maybe somebody else could tell us how that 7% are getting through and how we know they're getting through. Maybe they get caught. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe they get caught. The 7, like people cross now and get caught and stopped at the border, where before they would be let in, right? And they would be counted as a border crossing. So now 7% of what was coming in is coming in, and they're getting turned back. They're getting arrested.
Well, then that would be 100 still.
No. They're still crossing the border. They're just not all the way getting through.
Okay.
All right. Listen, you asked. I gave you I gave the best answer I could give you. Trump is the man. He sure is. I'm so friggin' excited over everything he's doing. Isn't it just wonderful? Hello, Ralph. How are you? It's our favorite Rubinik. There is still business crossings. I don't know what that means, business crossing. Tom McMurray, how are you? Good to have you with us tonight. Thank you. Hey, Gina, good to see you. I was thinking about you all day, Gina, and I would have called you, I swear to God, except for I didn't have a minute. I'll tell you why later. Americans are reporting illegals. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's amazing what's going on now. But what's more amazing is what's going on with Doge And I mean, it's not more amazing. It's just amazing the amount of money we were spending on illegal migrants throughout the country. Just mind baffling the amount of money that we were spending. As a matter of fact, it's. I need to show you, make an analogy. So the Democrats were telling us that it wasn't really costing us a lot of money, to have these migrants here. But in fact, Doge found out how much money we were spending. But the Democrats still continue to, be blind, kind of like this.
Maybe. No. Really, just get in there and back all the way back.
Someone should go help him.
Like, if you cannot park there, you will not.
Oh my God. He's gonna hit that car.
He's like, there's not enough room.
Wasn't big enough.
The perception was all off. Stop it, dog. The perception was all off. They're telling us it's a little bitty thing, but clearly it was big.
That's what she said.
What's that?
Nothing.
Say it louder.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Hello, Carol. Good to see you, cuz. And hope you're feeling better, Tom. Yes, we all hope you're feeling well. Yeah, smart car, dumb driver. Excellent, Debbie. Excellent. Is that Stevie Wonder in that car? I mean, it's it's the Democrats. I mean, it's the best visual analogy I could give. They just spin these tales, and they just don't understand things. It's kind of crazy. Did you hear there was another plane crash? This one was in Canada.
Yes.
Okay. Somehow or another, the news media is blaming it on Donald Trump, saying that he fired FAA workers. Somehow they fired FAA workers in Canada.
That's why the plane couldn't land correctly.
Yeah. So
couldn't be old planes. Old planes.
Well, it is kind of weird. Here's what it looked like coming down.
5, 2, 3. I can take that. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh no! Tower, you're seeing this airplane just crash into 3. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, obviously the wheels didn't come down.
There's a lot of things going on there, but how can you blame Donald Trump, who's been in office 29 days, for an air crash that happened in Canada? What? But this is on the news. The news.
New York won.
New York One did too?
No.
CNN, MSNBC. I mean, how nobody can take these people seriously anymore. It's just crazy. Oh, thank you. The doggies. Well, the doggies are being bad. That flight in Canada should have been canceled due to the wind, period. It's common sense, 40-mile-hour winds. And good point. Yeah, it absolutely did flip it. But somehow that becomes Donald Trump's fault. And, these Democrats, they have their Trump derangement syndrome runs deep. I mean, really, really, really deep. Elon said it best. He talked about it with Sean Hannity. I have a little clip. I believe they're going to be on air tomorrow, Elon and the president. But listen to Elon explain Trump derangement syndrome.
This whole sort of like, they call it like Trump derangement syndrome. And I didn't, you don't realize how real this is until like you can't reason with people. So like I was at a friend's birthday party in LA, just a birthday dinner, and it was like a nice quiet dinner, and everyone was behaving normally. And then I happened to mention, this is before the election, like a month or two before, I happened to mention the president's name. And it was like they got shot with a dart in the jugular that contained like methamphetamine and rabies. Okay, and they're like, wow. And I'm like, what is wrong, guys? Like, you can't have like a normal conversation. Yeah. And it's like it's like they become completely irrational.
So, Jen is playing Invisible Man.
Oh, no, I'm here. Something fell in the bathroom.
I was in a Continental flight one time that hit the runway so hard the luggage racks came off the ceiling. The plane hit too fast and too hard. Yeah, I mean, you could see it in the video. What happened?
And Spirit Airlines is the bad one.
Mm.
It seems to be Delta.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. There's that's because Delta is like a monopoly now. Delta, United, and what's the other?
We didn't even know we landed the other day. 20 minutes early, just landed smoothly off the plane.
Yeah, I like Spirit, but they're short trips. So, 1 meter service said free speech was the cause of the Holocaust because of Vance's speech in Germany. Absolutely. That was insane. I mean, it's just insane. And today, Mara Gay, who I never cared for anyway, she's the one who talked about being triggered by American flags all over Long Island. She didn't go to certain parts of Long Island. She said that Trump was dismantling the government, not making it better. It's tonight in Hannity. Okay, got it. All right. Okay. So let's see what else I have for you. Well, and here's how loyal the Democrats are with each other. I don't know if you all remember this, but Tulsi Gabbard was vice chair of the DNC at one time, and she was a big Bernie Sanders supporter. Watch.
As a vice chair of the DNC, I'm required to stay neutral in Democratic primaries, but I cannot remain neutral any longer. The stakes are just too high. That's why today I'm endorsing Senator Bernie Sanders to be our next president and commander-in-chief of the United States. We need a commander. As a vice chair of the DNC, I'm required to stay neutral in Democratic primaries, but I cannot remain neutral any longer. The stakes are just too high. That's why today I'm endorsing Senator Bernie Sanders to be our next president and commander-in-chief of the United States. We need a commander-in-chief who has foresight, who exercises good judgment, and who understands the need for a robust foreign policy which defends the safety and security of the American people, and who will not waste precious lives and money on interventionist wars of regime change. Such counterproductive wars undermine our national security and economic prosperity. As these elections continue across the country, the American people are faced with a very clear choice. We can elect a president who will lead us into more interventionist wars of regime change, or we can elect a president who will usher in a new era of peace and prosperity. It's with this clear choice in mind that I'm resigning as vice chair of the DNC so that I can strongly support Bernie Sanders as the Democratic nominee for President of the United States.
That was Bernie Sanders. Never mind.
But do you know what that freaking piece of crap did when it came time to return the favor and vote for Tulsi Gabbard to be national intelligence, the head of the National Intelligence Agency, he voted against her.
Of course.
I mean, how could you take anybody seriously that would do that to her? She hasn't changed. Nothing about her has changed. She made that the same reason that she supported Bernie Sanders is why she supported Trump, because she wants peace. She wants us to pull out of foreign wars. She wants us to pull troops out of other countries. And that son of a bitch didn't even return the favor. She resigned as DNC chair. But who cares? They have to pay me to fly. I'm grounded. Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I've kind of figured. Look, you're gonna go. You're gonna go. God finds a way. Believe me, God finds a way. Tulsi flipped when they put her on the terrorist watch list. Her eyes open bigly. The Dems eat their own. Yeah, but again, she's talking the same way she always did, even when she ran for president. She was always fiscally conservative. She was always anti-war, and she wanted the troops home. So she hasn't changed. She didn't leave the Democrat Party. They left her. Yeah, communist in chief. Yeah. Is her gray patch new? Yeah, I think after she resigned as DNC chair and they went after her, she got that gray patch. Kind of crazy. I think she was actually coloring it back then. Okay, so talk about crazy. I can't. So the mayor of Chicago, I mean, a lot of mayors are kind of standing against Trump's deportation. But Eric Adams is actually working with Homan. And now, did you see that Kathy Hochul's trying to get rid of him?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
I know.
I mean, that's just, if that doesn't show how blatant.
Not because of that. They're trying to get rid of him because of the charges being dropped and the bribery.
What bribery?
The charges, the bribery charges. They're trying to get him to step down because of that, and 4 of his
deputy mayors. 4 of his deputy mayors
down.
resigned.
So that it has nothing to do with the migrant situation. It has to do with his charges that were dropped.
The charges that were dropped that were unproven.
Yeah.
Okay. So why would you try to remove a mayor? Because
the only people screaming that are the ones running against him in the upcoming election.
It's a total setup. It's Tish James, Jumaane Williams again. Here we go again. Same 2 culprits. Who ran against him? Jumaane Williams. Who will become mayor if he's removed? Jumaane Williams.
For 90 days, yeah.
And then you have a primary. And do you think that Jumaane Williams will not win that primary in liberal New York City?
I don't think so.
Especially when it's you don't think so? Who do you think
I don't
wins?
think he'll win.
So it'd be Jumaane Williams,
maybe Landers. If Cuomo comes to run against him, if
Cuomo, Adams, Jumaane.
It would be Cuomo, 100%.
Oh, really?
So I think that if Jumaane Williams runs, which he will, Cuomo will jump in the race very fast.
Well, I understand Cuomo's jumping in the race. All right, let's not go off on that. I want to stay where we are. It's lawfare again. Not to say that Cuomo shouldn't have been prosecuted, persecuted, whatever you want to call it, for all the seniors that he killed during COVID, because that he should have been, but he wasn't. What he was persecuted and prosecuted for, and then ultimately made him step down, was for inappropriate behavior that occurred 100 years ago. When men were allowed to touch women, when that kind of stuff was rampant in Albany, all before the Me Too stuff. But Me Too was the salacious situation. And so that's what they honed in on, Tish James and Kathy Hochul. And they did their best and they got rid of him. And Kathy Hochul slid right in.
Meanwhile, all of us women wanted him to touch us during COVID. It's the truth. Everyone was home by themselves and horny.
He was doing really, really well, and then all of a sudden he fell in line, right, and started beating up on Trump. The problem with him is he said that Trump did a good job. Remember in the beginning, Trump did a good job, and then they must have come after him with claws and darts and daggers, and that was it. It was already, the die was cast, and they came after him not for COVID, not for the deaths that caused by people going back to the nursing homes, but instead for this salacious bullshit.
And one of the women dropped her charges, I thought.
It didn't matter. He still stepped down.
Yeah, I know.
They pressed him till he stepped down. And I mean, see, now they're trying to do it with Adams for something different. I mean, the whole thing about Adams is, that it was that he went against the Biden administration and letting in all these migrants, which we know that the Biden administration wasn't about Biden, right? We know that. The Biden administration was the Soros administration. Let's just call it what it is. Obama, Soros, Clinton administration. That's what it was. And maybe even Clinton, Soros more than even Obama, but I don't think so. I think those three. So as soon as he criticizes, he needed money because all these migrants were coming in, all of a sudden he gets all these crazy charges against him, and they're not even for anything that he did now. They were for things he did as borough president. And if the feds were investigating him for shit he did as borough president, why then did they let him run for mayor and they let the city elect him? If they thought that he was really doing something wrong, why didn't they stop him? Instead, they put him in charge of the largest city with the largest budget, with a budget the size of some small, medium countries. What? So let's see the pattern here. We got Cuomo out. Now we're getting him out. Jumaane slips in. Something ain't right in Denmark. And God bless Trump because he saw it. He absolutely saw it. And God bless him for stopping this whole thing. The whole idea is to project power. Yeah. And the one thing that I love is that Adams, is not resigning. Four of his staff resigned. And think about it. Let me tell you something. I know a couple of them, and they're all going to get the payoff. They're all going to get the payoff. Hi, good to see you back, Antonio. Bernie Sanders never worked a day in his life. No, he hasn't. Zelensky messed up big time trying to speak in English the other day. He blurted out 48,000 dead in Ukraine. I thought it was very interesting. He's been speaking in English for forever, every time he has come here or whatever. And then today he was speaking only in Ukraine. So I don't understand what's going on with Zelensky. They can't control Adams. Same reason they got rid of Cuomo, 100%. What about Curtis? What about him? I mean, it's going to be a Democrat primary. And listen, I would love to say that we're going to see a Republican mayor. I would love, love, love to say it. I don't know, though, if Cuomo wins, that Curtis can beat Cuomo. If it was Jumaane, I believe Curtis can.
Curtis is too out there from a lot of Republicans.
Yeah, I just think that Cuomo is more moderate. More moderate Democrat, because they think the mayor is working with President Trump. Yes, absolutely, 100%. The word on the street says Cuomo will win if he runs for mayor. I think that's true. Would Adams run as a Republican? No. And I think that would be a bad idea.
Very bad, and he knows that because it's a Democratic city. Why would he change?
Yeah, I think that would be a really bad idea. Democrat way demonize. Yes, exactly. Adams was doomed the minute he got on that plane to Washington to see Biden, who he never saw. And he never spoke to after, I don't think. Oh, how are you, Gloria? Good to have you. People getting calls in New York City to switch to Democrat to vote in the primary.
Not calls. It's all over it's the TV. It's a commercial that it says you must register Democrat. And it shows the Jews, and it shows this, and it shows that, and it says you must register Democrat.
Oh, smart. You have to you have to kind of circle your wagons, because Trump, remember, got 46% in New York City this last go round. That's saying something. And it's Trump. I mean, it's not just a Republican. It's Trump got 46% in New York City, where he should have gotten his ass handed to him if the hatred for Trump was true, if the Trump derangement syndrome was true in New York City as it was portended to be. Then Trump should have got no more than 26%.
Yeah, that was just the news. Yeah.
But he got 46%. So the Dems are going to circle their wagons. They're going to try anyway. So I don't know. I would do that if I was with the Democratic Party. But listen, they're just a mess right now. Hochul should have gotten and voted out in the last governor's race. I got a call. I guess I'm still on the rolls. Oh, God. That's crazy. I just can't understand how one-sided and evil Democrats are. If Adams runs as a Republican, he'd be justified calling the Democrat in their historic role as sadistic racist. Let's think about this for a minute. If Adam ran as a Republican and Trump supported him and Curtis supported him to become a deputy mayor, you could do something. You could. I would say, if that was going to be what he's going to do, the Republicans need to give him a Wilson Bakula, and he still has to run on the Democrat primary, even if he doesn't win, because his name has to be in there. Okay. So I would say that if he was even thinking of it, that's how he has to do it. He has to be endorsed by Trump. And Trump has to come down heavy. Trump's got a lot of money to spend. And he's calling around. I don't know if all of you saw him give a shout out to Nicole and say how great she was polling in her district. He's doing that. Could Curtis win that
the Democratic line is better? No, because the Dems are going to vote for Adams, and some of the Republicans will vote for Adams because Trump is backing him. So
so I would take the Wilson Bakula from the Republicans, meaning you don't change your party, but the Republicans give you their line, for other people that don't know. And I would stay a Democrat and still run the Democrat primary. That's what I would do. Conservative wisdom says don't do that, but I don't think that anything is normal these days. So that's kind of how I'd handle that, in my opinion. But anyway, this is what the Chicago mayor said about Trump saying that he would, or Homan saying that he would go after anyone who interfered with the border stuff. Watch.
Yesterday, your corporation counsel was stepping in to address the issue about whether you'd go to Washington. When I reached out to the committee, I was told that the chairman of this committee, who wants you to testify about Sanctuary City, expects you to be there, and if not, they will use whatever means they have available, including subpoena power, to require you, to compel you to be there. Will you go voluntarily, or will they have to be forced to compel you?
I wish the next time you talk to the committee chair, ask him if he would be interested in doing a hearing on how reparations can transform people's lives. Just ask him, but here's what I'm getting at. This oversight committee, of all the things that they want to have sight over, they should look at the White House right now. That White House is being ran in one of the most raggedy forms of government that I've ever seen. If anybody is questioning whether or not what our country would look like had the Confederacy won, there should be no question now. They want us to be afraid. Do not be afraid, Chicago. Whether it's an invitation or a subpoena, I'm always going to stand up for the interests of working people, and I will not be intimidated by some weak individual who won't stand up to an individual who believes he's a supreme being right now. You're worried about Chicago? Look in your front yard. We have a president right now who is obfuscating his responsibilities that should be very clear based upon the Constitution. He is rejecting the Constitution of the United States of America. And if they want to have a real discussion about undocumented individuals who are criminals, they should look at the very individuals who enslaved my people and colonized this land. So whether it's an invitation or a subpoena, the people of Chicago will not be intimidated or threatened by any individual who is unwilling to look in their own front yard of where the real threat to our democracy lies. Thank you all very much.
They can't look at the people because they've been dead for like 100 years. Not even that, but then the Jews should get reparations too.
What you just saw was a man who had a playbook of all of the buzzwords that that you're supposed to use against Trump. And he was caught off guard and he was put on his back foot. And so he pulled them all out. Reparations, racism, you name it, he did it. Constitution, democracy, threat to democracy, threat to the country. He threw them all into that word salad because he couldn't figure out how to answer the question. And that's the same crap that Kamala Harris was doing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure she was drunk and maybe on a couple of pills too, but they all have this playbook of here are the catchphrases for the week. Get them in there. Get them out there. That's what you just saw. That was so sad. So sad. Because he's running one of the biggest cities in America right now, where he's worried about Black people getting reparations. How about keeping Black children alive from the violence on the street? How about that? How about keeping their water safe? And how about giving them a roof over their head? You want reparations? You are in control, Mr. Mayor, after Beetlejuice. Give me a break. I don't know. The guy needs to up his meds. No, he doesn't. He just couldn't figure out what to throw out. He just couldn't. Yikes is right. That was just Dems keep digging the hole deeper and deeper. Yeah, it's I used to just watch the news here and there. Now I keep it on. I have CNN on in the den. I have Fox on in the living room. I have MSNBC on in the bedroom. I need to hear it all because it's better than any freaking Academy Award movie. I mean, winning movie. Just great. Yeah, exactly. What a liar this piece. You know what? It was just catchphrase. People not paying attention, believing this. You're right. They're not paying attention because moderate Dems are approving of what Trump's doing. 63%. Didn't they already get 20 acres and a mule? Now that was only if you went west. I saw a post. All these fired federal workers can now go pick the vegetables where people get deported. Yeah, that's a good idea. But nobody got fired yet. If he wants reparations, tell him I'll talk to Abe Lincoln. Yeah, that's very good, Kevin. Very good. Jen looks like she needs a hot toddy, heavy on the booze.
Yeah, Jen's getting sicker and sicker.
Yeah, it's
my
me.
client got me. No, I got coughed
on. This is why we can't grow the audience.
It's Jimmy. Hours ago, I was like, "Oh no, now I'm achy," and I didn't feel good. I said, "Here we go again." She came into work. I'm not sick. It's a dry cough. I'm like, just admit you're sick. You were in bed for 3 days. You didn't even answer your phone. You have the flu. She got it from her grandson, and she just talked over me and coughed on me and Darlene. And
yeah, mask didn't work, I guess.
No, she wasn't wearing a mask. And everybody, all the PAs closed their doors on her, and the billing department closed the door. She had nowhere else to go.
Don't say too much. Don't say.
Why? We weren't open. It was.
Oh. Okay, got it.
She went home.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right, you better go and sterilize the place. At any rate, listen to this one. This one was hysterical. This is how bad the TDS is. I mean, I had to bleep a lot, but anyway, you'll get it.
You, your Bible, and Elon Musk, and that weird little human shield he carries around with him. That thing has never heard the word no. Let's face it, that little booger flicking fucker sitting there with the President of the United States in the Oval Office, holding a press conference. Boy, didn't he just put it right in our faces what's what yesterday. So any idea that you had that what wasn't happening isn't happening is off the table. That motherfucker's in charge. He's holding press conferences from the Oval Office with his rotten little bastard child who has never once heard the word fucking no. So let's just call that spade what it is. And look, you Bible-beaten bastard motherfuckers, come to grips with this. I went through Catholic schools. I read the Bible. I read the book of Revelations. If you believe in all that shit, you Bible-thumping rat bastards, you must believe that we are in the end of times. And you need to know the Antichrist is here. The only problem is there's too many fuckers to pick. Who the fuck is it? There's so many we could be picking from. Is it that rat bastard Elon Musk? Is it the rat bastard Donald Trump? Is it the rat bastard Barron? Who the fuck is what's up with that thing? Because you look at that Melania Trump, Melania mother, whatever the fuck her crazy ass name is. I fucking hate Christmas. I hate with the red shit all over the fucking White. What the fuck was that anyway? We put this shit back in the White House. I'm beside myself. You know, I was floating around a couple of months in a pool, looking at the clouds. Ooh, look, an octopus chasing a Volkswagen. I was fucking happy. I was fucking happy. Now I've got to walk around wondering who the fucking Antichrist is. You rat bastard Bible thumping. You put us here. You motherfuckers put us here. You Bible.
Looks like Rodney Dangerfield in George Carlin's mouth.
I couldn't think of what she looked like. Oh my gosh. It's so true. It's so true. Okay. We got a lot. Average person believes is in Ukraine. People not paying attention believe Koreans are inside the borders of Ukraine right now. Yeah, I heard that. Jen, you need a hot toddy. Yeah. Okay, lot to read, so go ahead and read it. I can't read it out here. They all have the crazy eyes. This one forgot the nose ring. Yeah, really. She looks deranged. TDS should be listed under mental disorders. She needs a straitjacket, really. She looks like Bart Simpson, not Bart Simpson, the father. What's the Homer? Oh, a little bit like Homer Simpson. No, you don't think so? What church is she preaching in? I don't know. So she went to a Catholic school. Okay. So they're all crazy over Elon Musk and Doge. But let's go back a couple of years, shall we? And I'm pissed because I had this whole show lined up ages ago. And today it seems like Fox took every single clip I had and played it. I'm pissed.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
I've read it, and where it says the president should, the president will.
Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
From the day I took office, one of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress and legislative, but in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. And we're going to keep on finding every possible way that we can do that, even if Congress is not active. There you go.
Is that where Project 25 or 26 or 27 came from? Clinton was holding it up.
Oh. Well, that was, I remember that. That was a big deal. And that's what got Clinton elected. I mean, that was, the vice president was in charge of that. And there was a lot of cuts that were made. And then Obama created Doge, which is, but he called it something else, which now Doge is actually living in that office. And he did it by an EO. And he hired, guess what? Google geeks. Now, instead of Doge geeks, he hired kids
Liberals.
from Google to go look at what was going on. But
hardcore liberals.
Hardcore liberals, right? But here's what the problem was. Obama never told us what he found. And they never sent a rescission document back to Congress. So what's a rescission document? A rescission document is, here's the budget that was approved. Okay, whatever $1 trillion it is. I think, I forget how much, $33 trillion dollars that was approved. So we found whatever, $2 trillion in wasteful spending. We want Congress to revise the budget and rescind this spending in this category, this category, this category, this category. And therefore, the American taxpayer gets a refund of whatever amount of money that was found and rescinded. Okay? That is very necessary for the taxpayer to get their money back. Clinton didn't do it. Obama didn't do it. It is so very important that we all hold Trump's feet to the fire, because it's great that Doge is finding all this, but without a rescission document going back to Congress, we don't get that money back. So he needs to make the precedent. I'm sure he's going to do it, but we need to call our Congress people and make sure they press him to get that budget back into Congress's hand, to get those cuts back into Congress's hands so that they can revise the budget going forward and that we can fix it. I'm sure it's going to be in that big, beautiful bill, but it needs to, the one that they're working on now from Biden has to be revised. Do you get it? I'm putting you to sleep. I know.
You're not putting me to sleep. I don't feel good.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know I'm always sick.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We did that. She has been in the sun too long. Yeah. Wow. What a disgrace. Indeed. Talking heads. Yeah, they didn't do it. The Dems' idea of cutting back then was to turn around and fill the government with leftist commies. But, that was the problem, is that they found the ways, corruption and fraud. But then so it's like the lottery, right? Every state has a lottery. The lottery was supposed to go to education. But what did it do? Instead, the lottery money went to education. Then they took the education money and they moved it somewhere else. They didn't add the lottery money to education. They just bait and switch. And that is our biggest problem here. They closed military. They absolutely did. You're right. Clinton had last balanced budget. Yeah, he did. Democrat liars. But we didn't hold them to their feet. Now we know more. Now the internet. Well, we had to wait for Al Gore to create the internet. Now that we have it, we know that this rescission document is necessary. Let's all start singing that song. Definitely time for cleaning house, and I don't mean maid service. Yeah. They find $10 trillion split among 200 million taxpayers, $50K each. Yeah, think about that. Well, all right, I'm going to show you something. Never mind tax rebates, cut taxes and waste now. Okay, so let's see. All right, here is what, quickly. Here's, everybody's claiming a security clearance. Elon doesn't have it. Watch.
Saddens me about this whole approach. Now, I'm not going to talk about Elon Musk. I'm not surprised by how he's approaching things, but this isn't Twitter. I don't want a 21-year-old tech bro going through deciding which programs we should continue and not continue. Mr. Chairman, I want us to work and do that work. We can go line by line, or we could hire Mr. Yoho to go through line by line and say, hey, here's the programs that make sense, here's the ones that don't. But that's our job. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's our oversight. I don't want that 21-year-old tech bro, probably has never traveled anywhere, has no passport, doing our job.
I want to correct the record on a couple of things. First, Elon Musk and the team that is working does not have access to personal data. They don't have access to your Social Security number. That is a lie. Elon Musk does have a security clearance. He has a top secret security clearance. By God, he makes the rockets for NASA. But the suggestion that he somehow can't be trusted to dig into how we're spending our money is nothing but a smokescreen to hide the corruption and the wasteful spending that has occurred there. And I am personally offended at the left's continued references to 19-year-olds and 21-year-olds in there doing work. There are 19-year-olds who have won the Medal of Honor defending this country. Just because you're 19 doesn't mean you're some child who can't be trusted. It is offensive. And if you're 19 years old out there, 20 years old, and you're serving this country, by God, your service matters. Keep serving. We thank you for that.
So you are telling me that under the Biden administration, the USAID lost its course? Yes or no?
I think AID needs to be more independent of the
and
political
you just told me
wars
that the State Department is the one that directs.
Yes.
That, okay. And the State Department responds to the White House.
That's correct.
All right. So that means then that the White House gave the wrong directives to USAID.
In my view.
In your view. Good.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, that's all we needed to know. So now we have a new sheriff in town called Donald Trump, and then that guy brought another guy called Elon Musk to do the job.
Look how much they trusted Greta Duesberg. What was she, 10?
15. She was 15. That's, we talked about that last week. I mean, 15-year-old, she's going to save the world, but with her, nasty ass attitude.
And also kids are old enough to decide if they want a vagina when they're 7.
Or 3 or 4. Yeah, exactly.
And can not tell their parents and go to school and make their own decisions and get vaccinated without their parents. So.
Well, here's something Elon found. Look at this. These are the people on Social Security. 47 million, 40 to 49 years old. Okay. But 6,087, 170 to 179 year olds. 1.345 million, 150 to 159 year olds. 3.5 million, 140 to 149 year olds. The 4.734 million, 100 to 109 year olds.
And all that takes is a button. You categorize, you categorize a criteria group, and a list comes out. That's all it takes.
It's all it
when
takes.
It's computerized.
But they're paying. The people in the system being paid right now. All those millions of people, over 100 years old, over 10 million people. Over 100 years old being paid Social Security. Are you really telling me that there are people in this country that are 170 years old?
They're laying low. They're laying low.
To your point about categorizing, today he found 4.7 trillion in payments from the Treasury Department where the field that's supposed to have the symbol saying where the money is spent, like this is military or this is whatever,
gender reassessment,
whatever,
in the military,
the code, so that you could say this went with this on the budget, this belongs to this on the budget, this is ICE, this is here, this is there, the little symbols that you're supposed to have where anybody who does bookkeeping. $4.7 trillion in payments did not have any symbol at all.
It was a bad setup, like QuickBooks, when you just set up your company wrong and you just rig it until the end after that.
Forever after that, yeah.
When you never take inventory and you just keep getting the -1 and you just keep selling it because you have them, but you didn't put it into the system. That's right. Exactly what our country's doing.
100%. That's exactly what our country's doing. But the thing is that our taxes keep going up. Do you know, poor Pops? Pops never got his Social Security check before he died. His IRS refund check before he died, and he's doing another refund now. Do you know that it's been over a year that we have filed? We just filed his new half year before he passed away, and I was on the phone for an hour with somebody from Social Security, and they were giving me all kinds of grief that they don't want to pay this man $3,000.
Did you ever see people at Social Security? They should be on Social Security. They're like 90.
Oh no, this was a young fella. But this is insanity. They want to know if you spent $600 on Venmo, but
Yeah.
but they don't want to let you.
I hope Elon doesn't look into Zelle and Venmo. We're all dead.
well, we're fortunate. Chuck In, who knew she was going to get overturned and valued her reputation more than the Democrat Party, actually allowed Elon to go back into the system and do whatever he had to do. So that happened today. So Elon and Doge are in there. Okay, so anyway, never mind taxes, rebates, cut taxes and waste. Now we read that already. Heard Elon mention the Doge dividend to taxpayers. It's got to be, but it could only happen if the rescission document goes through. We got to get that through. Gina wants you to feel better. They need to stop bleeding going forward and then worry about getting back that money. Yeah, well, you're right. You're right, but we need to have. They printed all kinds of money. So the value of the dollar is down. We need to give people money in their pockets. We need confidence again. We need private sector jobs. Even if everybody got $5,000, people would feel more confident in starting their own businesses, and with the tariffs and everything else, there's a lot that's going on. And I think that we're on the right track here. Clinton's budget was because of Republicans. They worked really well. Listen, I think I liked Clinton economically were very good years. There was a good simpatico. And I think that's the last time that Congress really worked together, Democrats and Republicans. What does travel and passports have to do with what's best for America? This low-hanging fruit is easily identified with algorithms, not 19-year-olds going through file cabinets. Colleen knows. It's too bad, Colleen, that you don't have the time to be part of Doge because you'd be fantastic there. Yeah, no way, 170. I check my entries to ensure all items coded every month. Okay, well, let's listen to the president read what the money. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. What the money was being spent on. This is kind of interesting.
Here's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Investments in Africa and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I paid like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million for ESG. $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in the country of Colombia. Well, it's nice, $25 million to go into Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place, to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive numbers on things that nobody ever heard about. $10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for circumcisions in another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can't we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about like voter turnout here? Oh, we've done that, I guess. We did 500 million, didn't we? It's called the lockboxes. $20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud. $19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they?
It's like international monopoly.
It's like the biggest payoff ever. What are we doing? I mean, could you imagine if these things were put in front of the American public? Would they vote for them? No fucking way. You know what? The thing that
Well, Todd would, and Tiger Heights, or
maybe
Williamsburg.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if Todd would, if he had to write the check.
No,
you know what I mean?
Todd doesn't have to. He's a trust fund baby.
Well, maybe. Well, I just, the thing that really chaps my ass is that our Congress people approve this shit. So nobody read the budget. Nobody reads the budget. You hit it on the nail on the head when you said, you screw it up and then you just keep on screwing it up. Two things I know about government, and I remember this, and this, I lived it. If you had a budget of whatever it was for your department and you worked in government, if you didn't spend your entire budget, the next year when it came time for you to do anything, you'd get less money in your budget. So what they told us to do was spend every dollar in our budget so that we could ask for 10% more the next year. I never did it. I actually started out with a budget of like $4 million and I went down to $2 million because I didn't need it. And that's what we are supposed to do as a government agency. But it's the opposite. If you don't spend it, you have to spend it, find things to spend it on. And that's exactly what Biden did out the door. They were spending money so fast and furiously that they couldn't even put the symbols next to the records of what they were spending their money on his way out the door. So Scott Bessent has a lot of work to do, and I have a lot of confidence in him. He's from South Carolina, so I like this Treasury Secretary. But at the end of the day, we started off talking about Trump derangement syndrome and these crazy people. And I think maybe it's about time that we give a little bit of crazy back to the crazies. And this guy might be paving the way for us. Watch.
Get life. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Hey, sir.
Jerk off.
Sir, can I ask you a question for YouTube? Sir, can I ask you a question for YouTube? I'm pressed. I'm pressed.
Get these clowns out of here. They're a fucking clown. This guy Biden's sleeping. He shits his pants. You don't see that shit, you dope. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You guys are fucking joking. This city's turning to shit. And I bet you're going to vote for horrible fucking Hochul. Right? Hochul. And AOC. And fucking AOC. Fuck AOC. You don't like that shit, right? AOC. Get out of here, man. These people are clowns. Thank you. Thank you. Fucking left wing. Thank you. Jerk offs. And a vote for Hochul is a vote for horrible. Look at you, say nothing. Nothing. I didn't think so.
My name's Adam Francisco on YouTube.
Horrible. You can put it anywhere you want, big guy. These people are jokers. They don't know what's going on. They're ruining this city. Left wing jerk offs. Indict Jim Jordan. Are you serious? Yeah, you're great.
Indict Chuck Schumer.
Exactly.
Indict Nancy Pelosi.
What kind of Jew was Chuck Schumer? He gets abused from the squad and says nothing. What a joke he is.
Right.
You people are fucking hypocrites. You know what? I'm gonna take a shit later and wipe my ass and think of you people. Because you're ruining this fucking city. Yeah, you're laughing, jerk off.
Get a better president.
You're fucking laughing, you fucking clown, you woke idiot. You're a woke idiot. You're a woke idiot. You're all woke idiots. You know, I got a job. I got money. You're laughing, jerk off. You're standing in front of a building, you a hypocrite. You're a fucking jerk off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 jerk off.
He forgot 8. He went straight to 9. And that's why we're called the clowns. All you had to do, simple task, count to 10. You just all look bad, buddy. And that guy with the LGBTQ the flag, he marches with the Trump people.
I love it. He was fantastic.
He's everywhere in the city.
He was the counter-protester.
But he's the embarrassing one when we do our rallies. We're just like, oh my God. We look
I
like
love him.
helmets.
Oh my God, I love him. I love him.
He just makes us look so bad half the time. Love him, but hate him.
They were playing Texas Hold'em before Trump came in. You know it. The dead should be wiped out in no time. It should. I would love to work for Doge. You know what? See if he'll take you even part-time. Just go to the Doge X feed and DM, and they're asking constantly for people to work for Doge. I know you'd be fantastic, and Jen, you'd be fantastic because you're great at finding shit when you're not sick. That money came back to the players for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm writing to RFK with my healthcare information and offering my services. I think that's a great idea. I'm so glad he got. I'm so excited about him. Lock them all up. Yeah. Okay. When cuts hit close to home, people notice. Agreed. It needs to come back. The money has to come back. Rescission document. Listen to Rand Paul. He had some really great points. The budget is tied to one law. All this money is contained in one law. Yes. I worked NFP and we always had end of year spending to spend down contracts. Yeah, it's crazy. It's all about getting people to pay attention. Absolutely it is, Professor. Heads of the federal agencies are allocating these money clean house. You know, and this is bullshit. Just a quick lesson, right? Congress approves the budget, but the president manages the budget. Okay, so the president is like a corporation. The Congress is your board, right? So they are going to approve your budget. The president says to the board of directors, I need $44 trillion or $32 trillion because I've got to do this and this and this and this and this and this. And Congress says, okay. But Congress doesn't go through every single line item. The president is supposed to do that. Okay. That's where, but there should also be oversight, right? The Office of Budget Management should be overseeing. And when things look a little weird, then we need to go back to Congress and talk to them. And that is how it's supposed to work. So all these idiots saying that he is destroying the government, no, he's destroying the gravy train. Having a government create all your jobs is a sign of weakness in a country, and it can't be sustained. It just can't be. It's like, you know, your kids going to Ivy League colleges and all of them coming to work for you, mommy and daddy, where you can never be fired because they can't get their own jobs out in the world or create their own businesses. We have to have private industry. We must have private sector growth. The Democrats believe only growth when jobs should be public jobs. That is wrong. We should have much fewer public sector jobs than private sector jobs to sustain the country. That guy deserves a medal. Absolutely does. He's the new press secretary. All right, Jenny, I know you don't feel good. We're 9 minutes over. Go ahead, say your goodbyes.
Good night. I'll be better next week, I promise.
Okay, so here's the deal, everybody. I'm going to, even though, Colleen, you saw it there, I'm going to only put it on the pages because I don't know what's going on. Some people we see, some people we don't. So it's going to be Rumble, YouTube, and my Facebook page. And maybe we'll find Jennifer's Facebook page.
It's up there. It's Jen Romero It's Jen Romero. There's a page. It's up there.
No, but we got to link it to Rumble.
Okay.
To StreamYard. You're going to have to link it
All
to
right.
StreamYard. Okay. We love you all. We will
Bye.
see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Mama.
Bye.